or kindergarten through 12th grade, you can see a difference. I know I did with my children. I've seen a difference with the child that went to pre-K or Head Start than the child that didn't go to pre-K and Head Start. Okay, so while they're passing these gun laws, and they're making it easy for our children to get the guns. Okay, that's our children, not just the black children, the poor white kids, the poor Latinos, the poor Indians. They're making it easier for our children to get the guns. But what is it? Ignorance to the law is not acceptable. So when they get caught with these guns and whatnot, it was them that put them guns on the streets, okay? And then I say they passed these laws to lock our children up at the age of 16. Then they handle our babies like adults. I have a 16-year-old that got handled, well, he's 30 now, that got handled like an adult at the age of 15. Told me I had to step back, and it was his decisions. So now, it's like he's a product of the states. You understand what I'm saying? When I say that, well, I got to recondition them all over again. Okay, they lock our babies up in these cages, okay? And the truth be told, it's they kids who got the guns. They got the guns, they got the drugs, they got all of that. I know, okay? I got grown kids, I got kids in high school, I got kids in middle school. And so they tell me the stories. I know the stories, and I was an adolescent at one time. So I done hung out with some judges' kids back in my high school days, with some senators' kids back then. They had everything. They had everything. And what do they get? If they get caught, they get a slap on the wrist, or they get a slap up under the rug, or they get a program in which we can't afford the programs. So they send our babies to jail. It's attack all the way around, all the way around. They want to they take our focus off of the 16 and 17-year-olds, okay, while they pass this law, okay, and then they put all our focus on our babies because that's where our focus need to be. But it's like we getting backdoor. Let me get back to my paper, okay? It's about money and power right here. It's all about money and power right here. Money, power, respect, okay? So what it is really, they might have the money, y'all, but we got the power. We got the people's power, okay? The power is in our vote, okay? So when we place our vote, and we'll get the respect that we need, and the money will follow, okay? Because it's like they're trying to pay us with the peanuts, right? And they're trying to give us these low wages, right? But if we go and we use our power and get the respect that we need, we can vote them out. We can vote them out. So I'm encouraging all to go vote. We're going to vote them out. If they're not with us, they against us. And we're going to vote against them, okay? So, and we will not be silent anymore. Everybody go vote. Let's vote for the people that we need in the seats that's going to help us stay alive.
Forward together. So this week on Monday we started a blitz across the state of calling Senator Berger and Representative Moore every 3 minutes. How many here have made those calls this week? We have hundreds of calls going in. You can clap for that. We have hundreds of calls going in to Berger and Moore from everyday folks. You'll see whole child cares are shutting down just to make those calls. And by the end of the week, and they're calling right now, we will have thousands of them that have gone in. So if you're interested also in participating in that, you can come find one of us to get those calls in. Because there's something about child care that touches a spot. Now, what they're going to say later is they're going to poll something, and they're going to maybe give a little bit. Although last year, the child care providers will tell you that they promised this bipartisan effort to pass child care. And then they passed their budget and went on home. They knew June 30th was coming, but they did not care enough for that. Instead, they decided to pour money into vouchers, to go to schools that legally discriminate, we would say unconstitutionally discriminate, against people who don't think, act, and look just like them. And what they're trying to do now, without even a second thought, is pass hundreds of millions of dollars to now allow middle class and wealthy families to have their private schools paid for. even though their kids are already in there and they can afford it. So we know that we're not going to go for the hokey doke. We're not going to be happy if they pass a little bit of child care and a lot of bit of vouchers. We know that this is an interconnected movement. As you see, we're kind of floating between the issues, the child care, and a moral response. At this time, I'd like to invite Tri-Chair of the North Carolina Poor People's Campaign, Reverend Wayne Wilhelm, to come forward.
Good morning, good afternoon to everyone. Great to see everyone here, great to be here, but unfortunately it is fundamentally frustrating and sadistically sad that we have to be here today to demand from those who claim to care so much about life to fund early childhood education. This is an attack on our children. This is an attack on our families. This is an attack on our communities. This is an attack on life. You, General Assembly, want to give an extra $400 million plus on top of what you've already given to private school voucher programs when there are 4.2 million poor and low-wage workers, that's 40% of the population in the state of North Carolina, that need access to the basic necessities of all life. And child care is one of those. You want to give an extra $400 million plus on top of what you've already given when almost 2 million people in this state leave their houses every day and go to work for less than $15 an hour. We need child care. When parents have child care and can go to work, that helps the economy. When parents have child care and can go to work, that helps with food insecurities for their children in our communities. When parents have child care, that provides safety for our children. Nearly 1/3, if the General Assembly does not fund this early childhood education in June, nearly 1/3 of child care providers may have to shut down, leaving nearly 100,000 kids without care, leaving families without options, leaving small business owners that are committed to the precious children of this state with their dreams ripped from them. Instead of rushing to fund kids in schools, they're campaigning on spending hundreds of millions of dollars on private school vouchers for families that can already afford those schools. We demand funding for health care now. We demand funding for health care now. And as a faith leader, I too hear the words of the prophet Isaiah. But I believe if Isaiah was here today, he would have a little more specificity. I believe Isaiah would stand today and say, Senator Berger and Speaker Moore, in all of those, woe unto you that voted for HB 237. Woe unto you that support HB 10. Woe unto you who will not fund early childhood education. Woe unto you that make unjust laws. Woe unto you that rob the women and children and the poor of their rights. Woe unto you, General Assembly, that pass legislation that withhold justice from the oppressed and hurt women and children. That's why we as the Poor People's Campaign, along with your help, we're going to continue to wake this sleeping giant of poor and low-wage voters. And we're going to make our voices be heard at the polls. We're going to be loud, and we're going to be loud. Somebody's hurting our children. Somebody's hurting our families. The General Assembly is hurting our communities. And we will not be silent anymore. Forward together.
Not one step back.
Forward together.
Not one step back.
Yeah. Say whoa. Whoa. At this point, we know that we are a movement that, in order to change the narrative, we want to change the narrators, and people most impacted by these policies are going to be front and center. And I'm honored to have a sister in the struggle and a child care provider from Rocky Mount, Nancy Rogers, here with us to speak and talk about what she is going through at her site and what we're seeing across the state. So as you come, Nancy, we know that child care centers are making decisions right now about whether they can continue programs, whether they can keep slots open, We hear stories of folks closing down every week. And so Nancy, please come and tell us what's going on.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nancy T. Rogers. I presently serve the Nash and Edgecombe community, the rural community of Nash and Edgecombe County. I want to start out by telling you guys that our children are worth the investment. But let me tell you why they're worth the investment. We talk about numbers. We talk about juvenile detention. But we are not securing the foundation. We are not investing in the foundation. You cannot build a house if you don't have a foundation. The early years are the most crucial and important years where you can have security, safety, and teach the fundamentals that are going to make you successful in life. They are choosing to ignore that. They try to patch up and give us money on juvenile detention. They give here and they give there. But they're not addressing the issue at hand, which is the foundation of our children, the foundation of our communities, the foundation of our teachers and educators. I have educators that live at poverty level and still come to work every day, loving on them babies. I have educators that our center did not close not once towards the COVID pandemic, and they put their health at risk just to serve the community so we can thrive. So I say to you, legislators, people that are making these decisions, what are you willing to do to show that our children are worth the investment, that they're the most important constituents in our society? They're the ones that are going to take us to the future. They're the ones that are going to build the future. We can fight today all we want to. We can fight tomorrow, but we need to fight through them. Give them a sound, basic, safe education. Give us the money to provide this. Help us, help them, because we're building communities and we're building a nation. We cannot do it without our children. So I implore each and every one of you, let them know how you feel when you go to vote. If they're not willing to support us, get them out. Get them out. What do we want? When do we want it?
Now.
Move forward?
Not one step back.
Thank you.
Hold together.
Thank you, Nancy. Want to make sure there is waters around. I think there's waters behind you that you hydrate. We are thankful that the architects of this beautiful place helped decide to keep the trees. And so, but we know that it's going to be a hot day, so please, if you see some water around you, if you could help get it to folks, that would be great. At this time, I want to bring up Jason Crazy Bear Keck from 7 Directions of Service, who's going to speak on a different bill that is attacking indigenous sovereignty and indigenous burial grounds here in North Carolina, while at the same time doing all these other things that they shouldn't be doing here. All right, Jason.
Halito Chima Chukma. So it's not bad enough that they've historically invisibilized, brutalized, exploited, polluted our communities across the country, but especially in the state of first contact. It's not bad enough that they would do this to us in our living and in our flesh, but to do it through a bill taking developer money that would dig up the resting places of our ancestors who went through that suffering, by the way, which will also attack our historically enslaved ancestors, which we have relation with historically in this state. So not to mention that they're going after our children's preschool and public school dollars and the safety there. Not to mention they're going after our young people and their democratic ability to take to the streets peacefully when they need to, calling it a felony if it obstructs traffic, like North Carolina knows anything about traffic, right? But it's a felony to obstruct it in the name of right and righteousness. Not only are they making it criminalized to wear masks, the mask that they made it criminalized for us not to wear, for whatever reason, godly reason, they threw that one in there. Not only are they making it easy for corporations and billionaires to anonymously give money to anybody for anything, which is good. If you don't understand that, that's going to make this state a corporate state, which is going to become a dust bowl that's going to make the 1930s scream out in shame. So what I feel, what I see, and what I call this is corruption, true corruption. This is not democratic legacy. This is not for the people that vote and elect them in. This is corruption, and this is brutality on us as the poor, simply for our circumstance. Anakma Abanoke, tomorrow we will win.
Thank you, Jason. All right, forward together.
Not one step back.
I see a group of folks in red to my left. Who do we have in the house? I'll invite Keith and whoever else you're bringing with you to come forward. We have the Union of Southern Service Workers, the mighty, mighty union that was born here in North Carolina. It's going to speak for us today.
Come on, forward together.
Not one step back.
Forward together.
Not one step back.
It's the Poor People's Campaign in the house.
Yes.
That's right, that's right. We are USSW, the Union of Southern Service Workers, and we are here to organize the South. So when I say, who are we? Let me hear you say, USSW. Who are we?
USSW.
And what we do?
Organize the South.
That's exactly why we are here today. We are standing with all workers here in the South, all service workers, all child care providers to say enough is enough. And it's time that we organize the South. Am I right?
Yes.
So I'm here to bring up one of our founding leaders of the Union of Southern Service Workers, the mighty Ishani Gas. Can y'all make some noise for her?
Hello, my name is Ishani. As he said, I'm here just to share my story as a mother of two, and I'm expecting. It's a struggle out here. I'm here standing with fast food workers, service workers all over the industry because $12, $7 ain't enough. I need more than 15 at this point. I got 2 kids, $1,300 rent. I can't afford to do this on my own. I don't get maternity leave. Any job that I've been on, they don't have it. You can't get it unless you're management or better. My son is 2 now. He's finally in school. I got him in Head Start, but it's still a struggle. I work night shifts, so he goes to school during the daytime, and then what do I do at night? I don't have no after-school programs. I struggle trying to find babysitters. It's really a lot, and I'm here to say that enough is enough. We have to stand up and fight back. I'm fighting for the Head Start programs, the school lunches, school meals, schools in general. We need better schools for our children. The kids come first, and my kids come first. I don't know about y'all kids, but my kids come first. And I'm going to stand out here every day. I'm going to come and speak wherever I can for my kids. Because I'll be darned if my kids go to school and can't get what they deserve. My kids are going to have a good lunch. My kids are going to be able to have a good education, no matter what. And I'm going to do whatever it takes to fight for my kids. My little girl is over there now, 6 months. It is a shame. I'm not able to get her in school right now because she's not 1 yet. Why do I have to put my kids in 2 different schools? That's a struggle. I don't have transportation. Catching a bus to get them back and forth, trying to make it to work on time, it's a struggle. And I'm here to say that enough is enough. Pay us the money that we deserve. Treat our kids with respect and dignity, because that's what we deserve. I demand that I be able to get maternity leave. There's no way that I have to keep working all the way up until I'm full term. There's no way that I cannot take a break to spend time with my children to make sure that they're okay. From the day my child is born, I have to continue to work, and that is a shame. So we're here to stand up for all workers, all schools, everybody in our community, and say that enough is enough.
That's right. That's right. Come on, say enough is enough. Say enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
Woo!
Forward together.
Not one step back.
Forward together.
Not one step back.
We can't survive.
We can't survive.
At 725.
725.
It's a shame. In a graduation program at my daycare last week, the daycare provider told the story of many of her teachers having to come to school even though they were living without a home, living homeless. It is indicative that we need a radical revolution of values, that for the folks who we say are doing the most important work in our state are getting paid poverty wages. This was a crisis before this funding cliff. And what some of these folks over here are indicating is that, well, this has been extra money. since COVID. And so why can't you just make do as if they're budgeting, that the problem is how they're budgeting child care centers. Can't budget your way out of this. They have a commitment to their workers, and I think as a parent too, they can't compromise on taking wages back down and putting folks in that position. And so it is an impossible decision and place that people are in. We know, am I right, that the last COVID payment has already happened? So the last payment has already happened. The cliff is here, and on June 30th. And so we know that they are going to take forever to fight amongst themselves about this budget and how much they can get for different things. So that budget isn't going to be done by June 30th. And so they're going to have to do an emergency action if we're going to save child care. And they are not acting like it's an emergency. And so we're going to go over there today to raise our voices and to make some noise at the General Assembly. We're going to go inside. In a moment, what we're going to do is we're going to process over to support the Equality North Carolina Advocacy Day in front of the General Assembly. If folks are hot or want to use the bathroom, you're welcome to go inside the General Assembly. And actually, Leslie, could I ask you to lead that group? Yeah. All right, so Leslie, if you want to go directly inside and wait for us inside the General Assembly, come with Leslie. I'd suggest going around the back and then ending up in the 1100 square, which if you come in the front is the first square to your left is where we'll do our action.
I'll take you there.
She'll take you there. And so, yeah, how many of y'all are here because you have kids that are being taken care of by someone else? All right. How many here because your great-grandkids or grandkids are being taken care of by someone else? And there is not a feeling like it than to know that your kid is safe and loved and taken care of. And that's where I am right now, and I'm so thankful for those who are there. And they will try to tell us we're wrong. That's part of standing up and having the courage to stand up and go to the people in power and tell them that they're wrong. But if we're wrong, then the North Carolina Constitution is wrong.
That's right.
Because the North Carolina Constitution says we hold it to be self-evident that all persons are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, that amongst these are life, liberty, the enjoyment of the fruit of their own labors, and the pursuit of happiness. If we're wrong, the North Carolina Constitution is wrong in Section 2, that all political power is vested in and derived from the people. All government of right originates from the people, is founded upon their will only, and is instituted solely for the good of the whole. If we're wrong, the North Carolina Constitution is wrong in Section 15, that says the people have a right to the privilege of education. Have a right to the privilege of education, and it is the duty of the state to guard and maintain that right. It is a shame that we have to be here to do what the North Carolina Constitution has already demanded they do.
That's right.
If we're wrong, then biology and evolution is wrong. Because human beings, we get born useless. You see, a horse gets born and it can walk, right? And within a few moments. Kitten can walk a little bit. Human babies are useless at least till 18. No, until at least 4. We are born that way. We are born, our culture is dependent on what makes us human is that we have people who can't take care of themselves. And that pulls us together. That there are members of our community that aren't going to contribute much. Just lucky they're so darn cute. That's what they bring. But that we as human beings, that what makes us human is that we tell the stories that these people who can't give us something directly back, that they are precious. And that they are actually the focus of our entire culture and families.
That's right.
And finally, I know that if we're wrong, then God Almighty's wrong.
Yeah.
Y'all already mentioned that Jesus didn't say, suffer the millionaires to come to me.
That's right.
Suffer the lobbyists to come to me. Suffer the adults. Suffer the corporations to come to me. He says, suffer the little children. And finally, when God chose to bring God's self to earth, God didn't sing a king. God didn't send a king in my faith tradition. Didn't send a warrior, didn't send an adult, didn't send a man, sent a baby. A vulnerable baby to be here, to be the flesh of God here. And so right now we know that whenever you do this to the least of these, in my faith tradition, that is literal. That what we do to children is also how we treat God. And so we're going to move over there and we don't want to disrupt their thing. We're moving in coalition, which can be a little funky sometimes, but we'll get in rhythm. But we will chant and make some noise. But before we do that, I want everyone to grab their things and grab their water, and then we'll process over all together.
Make it clear that Claudia and Sue is the LGBTQ
Yes.
and they're passing
And also,
funding childcare.
thank you, Karen. So Equality NC is LGBTQ plus organizing committee that has been side by side with us on Voting Rights and Racial Justice Act. And they are actually now planning in the session today to remove protections for same-gender loving couples against domestic violence and other protections as well. And so this is very current as well for them. We'll be there and then we'll go in. So, yeah. Great. Yeah, if we line up right over here to my right. Yeah. And you can take signs. Bring your signs as well.
Where do we line up to go to the press conference? Right here? We're all going to go together. Oh, okay. Hey, Jim. Listen, I was at the Moms for Liberty
If you need signs, they are over. As well, grab some water. We're moving forward together, not one step back.
Let's go.
Some of us are going. Anybody who's coming?
You want the monopod?
Anybody? Well, we're gonna go over with them and go inside.
We're all going together. We're all going together.
Wearing my fusion cap.
Here, let me take a picture real quick.
Okay. Kelly. Hey, good. How you doing, Mr. Leg? Good. Hey, Jan.
Walk over here, you know, exercise and all that good. Get started early. Yeah. Loosen up his legs, muscles.